Welcome to my YouTube channel, Technologist on the Go. I'm Renee Esquivel, and I hope you like this video that you're going to watch. Please mark it like if you enjoy it, and if you don't, give it an emphatic double dislike. One thing about this particular video is I'm going to show you how you can use a device that's really used for capturing gameplay to actually serve as a portable monitor. And that device is the Elgato HD60S. And I'm going to show you how I, as a field engineer, have been able to use that as a monitor so that I no longer have to tote around with me a physical monitor, which is impractical. And so I'm going to show you how that's done, and let's see if you can find similar use for it as well. So let's get started. The Gato HD60S comes with three components. Principally, it's the Elgato HD60S game capture device. You see pictured here. And on the side that we're going to be using, it does have a microphone input. It has got the HDMI input, which you see there. And it also has the USB-C port, which is designed for this to have a USB-C cable, and it just comes with it, USB-C on one end, USB-A on the other. And then on the flip side, it has the HDMI output, and this is what gamers use to stream their video or their gameplay back out to a screen or TV, so that while they're playing, while they're gaming, the gaming's coming in off the console into this input. Through the USB-C, it gets captured onto the PC, and there's a pass-through so that the video comes right back out and goes to the screen so they can watch what they're doing. And then, of course, it does come... Well, I'm not sure if it actually comes to the the HDMI cable. This is one that I got, and it's a quality HDMI cable. You want to make sure that you're using an HDMI cable that's HDMI 2.0 or 2.1. 5 and below version is not going to work. It's going to end up with a black screen or choppy video, and you'll be thinking that it's maybe your computer or the HD60S that's defective, but it's not. It's the junk cable, so get a quality cable. Okay, with these components in, now let me show you the target system that I'm going to be using this device to capture the display, so that I can effectively watch what's going on in the computer as though I had a monitor connected to it. Okay, let's step through the things you'll need to connect the Elgato HD60S. Let me get two other items out of the way. Number one, you will also need a keyboard and mouse. In this case, I use a combination mouse trackpad and keyboard with a USB dongle that I plug into my target device. In my particular case, the protective case for my MacBook Pro does not allow clearance for a lot of devices to plug directly in there, and so I end up needing to use a USB-C extender. In this case, I like one that's this type. I can have one that's a little dongle to plug in there, but I prefer something that's more flexible. And then also I need a USB type A to USB-C adapter, and that's for connecting the Elgato cable that lets the MacBook communicate with the Elgato device. So let's go ahead and step through how to connect everything. I take my extender and I plug it into an available USB-C port. Next thing, I take my USB-C to USB Type A cable for the Elgato. I connect that. And then I feed that into the USB-C port on the Elgato, and see it powers up. Start power up white, and there it is. When you see those red LEDs go off, you're golden. Okay, next thing is the HDMI cable. I like to use buy these little rolls of Velcro at Home Depot, and I just cut pieces as I need them to keep my cables nicely coiled. I don't like them getting wrapped up with other cables. So I plug in my HDMI cable there. In this case, I use also an HDMI to VGA adapter. The USB, I don't use that normally, but if I did, that would allow audio to transfer from the target device, in this case the computer, into the HDMI. I got this particular adapter here at Computer Micro Center. It was $39.99. It's a J5 Create. I bought two different types of adapters previously on Amazon, and they ended up being garbage. Not one of them ever worked. So I decided, hey, I'm just going to go for quality. And this one here worked the first time. The second time it's worked every time I've needed it. So I will plug the HDMI into this one. And that lets me then connect to the USB VGA port here on my computer. And at this point, we really are golden to go ahead and hit this power button and start capturing input. So why don't we go ahead to that phase so you can see how things go with this whole procedure. Okay, let's go ahead and first launch the Elgato Game Capture HD software. You download it from Elgato's website. I'm going to power on that Dell T5400 at this point. Once the system does its initial power up and video starts coming in through the Elgato HD60S, the record button in the lower left is going to get enabled. Once it does, you can click on that to start recording, start capturing your what you see on the screen. I like to go into full screen mode, as you saw me go there. And as long as I don't touch any key on the keyboard of my laptop connected to the Elgato, it's going to stay in full screen mode. You see the boot sequence now as the system's booting up. And in a moment, I think that this particular server running some kind of techie operating system takes about 3 minutes to boot up. I'm not going to bore you with that, so I'm going to fast forward through that. And here we are now. It's booted up. So I'll log in, and the login, any interaction with the server that you're capturing video from is done with the keyboard, not the keyboard on your computer. It's that external one you saw me using, or that you saw me preview earlier. I'm logging in here as the administrator, and in just a moment you'll see the there it is. We're logged in. Okay, now if you're a technical person, it's not so much the boot up that you're wanting to see. It might be a problem that you need to get into BIOS. You need to look at post messages, some really low level stuff. The Elgato initially won't handle that well. You can see it here with BIOS. When I booted the same computer into BIOS, it's garbled up. Don't be discouraged. I think the Elgato tries too hard to look at low level stuff. It wants HDMI, and it needs to get about 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes pretty much, to get past that. So I disable preview so that it's not trying to, at least through the software, trying to look at that output. That where it says enable preview, that's the same button you press to toggle preview mode on and off. I have disabled it, as you can see displayed. Also from the bottom center, just to the right of where you see the Elgato's uptime, since we started recording, or since it starts receiving input, right there you can click on it, and after 5 minutes, bammo, you see the BIOS is working just fine. As you see me stepping right through it. So don't worry about it. Give it some time on the low level stuff. It will display it correctly, and then you can capture that all essential video. Well, there you have it. The Elgato HD60S is used by gamers. It's a very popular device by gamers to go ahead and capture gameplay, but it's not only for gamers. Anyone who has the need of capturing output from it could be a gaming console, a media player, a computer, a server, whether that comes out in HDMI, DVI, VGA output, DisplayPort, you can capture that into the Elgato HD60S and make use of it. So for me, in my line of work, it's much easier to tote that little Elgato, just pack it into my bag, because I typically carry my laptop with me anyway, because in my line of work, oftentimes I need a computer. And so at this point, I'm at the ready to record anything for back-end support, systems engineers on the back end. It saves me the hassle of having to keep a monitor in my car and always be concerned whether that monitor is going to handle the rides well. City streets aren't what they used to be nowadays. They seem to be all kind of crumbly and riddled with potholes. So this is just a lot easier for me to manage, and I hope you see some benefit in it as well for yourself. We'll post links for the components I showed you in this video so that you can look into it if you're interested. Have a good day. Bye-bye.